Hello everybody, welcome to my amazing round 16 match versus AndyDavo. I'm going to concentrate my hardest on this match, so I will leave you in the capable hands of these two glorious casters, Faemir and Calcium. Please take it away and try to be a little bit politically correct, Calcium. Right, thank you, bye!
Hello everybody! Like Ken versus Ryu, Godzilla versus Kong, a Blood Bowl coach versus Diabetes. Here is one of the biggest matches, biggest fights, biggest rivalries in the history of the game. Jimmy Fantastic, hated by many, loved by few, but known by all. And in the other corner is AndyDavo, the man that will melt your ice cream in the microwave and freeze your tea in the fridge, ready to play with his Necromantic versus Jimmy's Dark Elves. And as a special thing for this game, we have sent Dimmy G and Elliot to the Large Hadron Collider so they can check the changes in equity in the universe along the game. I'm pretty sure Dimmy G will keep us posted. They gave him, to avoid any accident, the chair of Steve Hawking. So there is no chance that he falls to the ground this time. So we are ready for this.
Wow, the Large Hadron Collider. Dimmy thinks that's a kebab shop.
Yeah. That's why this is not an official casting, you know. It costs millions upon millions of euros, pounds, and dollars to use it to check just the equity in a stupid child's game. So no company can support it, but doesn't matter. Elliot is there, setting out the machinery.
Sorry, mate. Jim's won the toss, so he's elected to go on offense, which is interesting. I guess early Dakar.
Could be. And also for those that are new here, this is the best of 3. So whatever happens in this game, there will be a second game tomorrow. So that means that if you have something better to do, you can do it, because this game is just the first one. So you want to be, anything could happen, and it will still be another one. And if there is not a clear winner after the second one, there will be a third game.
There's really nothing between these two coaches. They are without a doubt the two biggest streamers of Blood Bowl. They have been for a while. They are unmatched in their popularity, and they are also really good at the game as well.
This is probably the biggest Blood Bowl game on Blood Bowl 3 and Blood Bowl Online, probably
100%.
Ever.
Yeah. Nothing else even comes close to this matchup. It was destined when the more the draw went on, the more destined it was that these guys were going to meet bottom bracket. But yeah, Jim's set up for a Dakar here, of which I personally hate. The Dakar does my head in, but it doesn't mean it's not a very valid strategy.
I think this could work very well for Jim. Jim is very experienced in the Dakar, and also that way he can keep his players a little more safe for a few turns. He doesn't have an apple. But
everyone understands. Everyone understands the basis of the Dakar. It just keeps your players safe, minimises the amount of hits, especially if you're an elf team. But yeah, I hate it. Although the Necro, actually, I think of all the teams that have to, sort of play offense against the Dakar, or sort of approach a Dakar, because they got the mobility in the ghouls and the werewolves. They are more suited to respond to a Dakar, aren't they?
I don't know. They have the ghouls, and yes, that's true. They have the movement pieces, but they have a lot of zombies, and the fleshes are very slow. So probably Jimmy will try to open an spot in one of these places without the skills and pray.
Yeah. Big Chi-Chi, I'm with you. But then Jim is a self-confessed mega fan of the Dakar, and we all knew that it was coming. Hey, there's a reason why Jim's in the World Cup and I'm not. So.
Yeah. You didn't organize your own tournament to qualify.
Well, yeah, 100%. Next year, Faemir, we're all over it, all right? We're all over it. Next year, we're on it, mate. We're on it.
Oh, Jimmy going for the fleshy without the block.
Yeah, the mass guard is nice, but fleshies without block feels a bit vulnerable.
Okay, Jimmy.
Jimmy trying to cause some brieflet.
Some controversy, but Jimmy, pay attention to the large Hodran Collider. You are there, taking the change in equity. They give Elliot the jacket of Carl Sagan, because he was also a banger like Elliot is. Oh, gets the POW. No armor break. And puts a lot behind. It was a bait Daka. He's going to try to, move through. No.
This is early, isn't it? This is early for Jim. Jim
is
not smelling what the Daka is cooking.
Jimmy has clearly thought a lot about this, because in normal circumstances he would have moved a little more back, obviously that, but here is that getting that, and now he's pushing the blitz for the Necro to go to the blitzer. That blitzer must be hit, and there you go. Here comes the frenzy. Oh, yeah. Double skull spin roll.
Oosh.
Nakeo. That's how good is AndyDavo, getting the double skulls in the first roll of the game. So nobody can.
I think Andy
he
would,
has the
I
perfect
think Andy
defense.
would take that, wouldn't he? Yeah.
The perfect defense versus a dice thing, anything happens, he can always say, what are you talking about? My first roll was double skulls. That's the level we're seeing here. So, Jimmy, how has changed the equity after that KO? Can you provide us with a number? How many deals of equity have moved the universe towards Andy?
Faemir, do you think Andy would have taken that, a reroll for a removal? I think he would have taken that
100%.
At the start of the turn. Yeah.
100%. And he had to reroll it, because if he didn't reroll, that blitzer would have been free like a bird, turn over, and then Jimmy would have been run away.
I've got to admit, I think it was probably quite a good bait by Andy, to be fair. It'll be interesting to get Jim's take on it post-game as to whether he went early or not. I was expecting him to retreat another turn, to be fair.
Pretty sure Jimmy wasn't expecting to get a KO on a blitzer turn one of Andy. Turn two.
No.
At least he managed to have 11 players for one turn. That's a big thing for Jimmy. Now Jimmy using the tide, thinking what are his options. And there you go. Polar parents. And full appearance nowadays also cancels the movement. So he has to go now and cage.
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Tilakis. I was hard to say that. No, you didn't miss a Tilakis. You didn't miss a Kaz, just a KO. Turn 2 KO.
There you go.
Glorious. No, I won't give in.
Oh, there you go.
Until I'm victorious.
Oh my God, the Squirrel.
And I will
all
defend.
The times to choose
I will defend.
Let's focus on the 74 and not the other
74,
number.
yes, let's not go to the 88.
Glorious. No, I won't give in.
And there is a
Until
hype
I'm
train
victorious.
coming.
And I will defend. I will defend.
And let me tell you
Let's
guys,
see.
there is a hype train coming here. And Andy doesn't have any hype train. That's big advantage for Jimmy having the better community. Also,
Stop it, Faemir. Stop it, you bad man.
well, it's the proof there. The proof is there. Hype train here, no hype train on this David channel. I don't know what their commentators are doing. I know Andy has some local league commentators.
I prefer to look at it this way, Faemir. Between Andy and Jimmy right now, there's 299 people watching a kids game, board game right
how
now.
many of them are the same person? Could be surprising, but yeah, there is a number.
Oh,
double pow.
You know, if you're going to bring facts into it, then that's something, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, Andy's applying massive pressure here, getting the armor breaks. You know, and even an elf or two down against Necro is bad news.
And it is the question.
Yeah,
There
Ori
is
is pressure. Yeah.
400 people watching Blood Bowl 3. There is around 300 between the two streams. So what the hell are doing the other 100? What are you doing? Oh, wait. Team reroll.
Oh, that's the second double. So quietly, that's the second double skulls that Andy's rolled.
Yeah. Andy rolling well to protecting from dicing accusations.
Yeah.
And whoever wins this round goes to have 400 euros guaranteed.
Boom.
And to make things more spectacular, I think the next round is when they are going to cast them live. Oh, armor break on a zombie. So Jimmy and Andy will be together in the booth. I hope that whoever wins has at least the decency to pay a couple beers in France to the loser.
Yeah, they're going to have a blast in Montpellier, ain't they? So there's worse gigs, isn't there?
Yeah. And there will be also with them in France will be Mespel 3, which is in Andy's stream, but not here. Just say it. That's a fact. Anyone can check. Oh, there you go. Jimmy having to take a risk here and take advance.
I don't think he had a choice here, Faemir, did he? You know, obviously Jimmy would rather not take a sideline this early on, but you know, being essentially two elves down for this turn.
And Jimmy G fails the dodge and fails like he fails from a regular chair. Like for him today, he has the Stephen Hawking chair donated by his family.
I will hear no bad things about the champ, all right? Just saying. The champ's my boy.
Only good stuff of the champ. And we're gonna see surely a blitz on the witch.
Yeah, Ori, he is risking getting pinned in the corner. But I don't think he's got much of a choice right now. I think he has to try and make something happen. The problem is Andy is positionally one of the best blood bowlers out there, and he, you know, I can't see Andy falling for traps no more than Jim would fall for a trap. You know, I can't see Andy falling for a trap.
That's 2 blocks that the witch survive, and now come the next 2. Double Scalcer reroll.
Oh
no
my
rerolls
lord!
left.
So, you know, Andy has had some shocking dice here. Absolutely
That
shocking.
was shocking. That was shocking. I'm livid. At the.
Three,
And here
hang
comes.
on,
Oh
three
my
sets of
God!
gloves. No.
Oh my God! And don't manage to take down the witch in 5 rolls because we are counting the roll
Wow.
there, and now he has to put all the bodies there.
Yeah. Oh, this has changed. This has changed things.
Still, Jimmy's in a lot of trouble, lots of pressure by the Necros. Thanks to their guard pieces. But there is a way. Blitz with the ball carrier.
Yeah, we got the
Gets
old
the foul.
got the old switcheroo.
The good thing is most of, well, nearly all Jimmy's players can get free with a 2+. And he doesn't have tackle on any piece.
Yeah. So Jim's really against tackle as a skill in general. I probably wouldn't develop a NAF style team without a tackler, given the propensity of dark elves and wood elves and stuff. It just strikes me as a bit of a no-brainer, to be honest. But you know, when Jim says, "Oh, I wouldn't be taking tackle as a skill," I listen to him because yeah, you know, I said it before and I'll say it again. Jim's better at Blood Bowl than I am, but I would be rocking a tackler, whether it be on a ghoul or a werewolf. I would absolutely substitute block for tackle. I know it's a risk, but you know.
One of the blitzers with tackle would have been very useful.
Yeah. But what do I know?
And Dimmy G again.
Yeah.
Files the dodge, armor break. Oh my God, Dimmy. And you haven't updated that on the changes on equity. This is terrible. This thing is falling now. It's absolute tragedy.
Jimmy, renowned for his dodging skills.
I was expecting more from one of the top 50 coaches in Hastings, Jimmy.
Won't hear it, Jim. Dim, you're a beautiful person. You're a beautiful human being. Yeah, that's a good point, Captain Oates. You know, Jim's coming up to turn 6 and he's super deep. I'm wondering whether he's going to have to try and score here, isn't he? But maybe he's thinking maybe the score is beyond him already.
No.
He's going to have to do what elves do best and roll a metric crap ton of dice, I think.
Not necessarily, but yeah, it's going to be 3 times to score from that far. Is literally all movement invested and probably GFIs. Dimmy G saying that he used to come home with black eyes and his dad used to say, I need to learn how to duck. And that's why Dimmy G only eats bread. Hey, Mata. Getting dice there. Tense moments here during and this none of the coaches have used much of the time bank. Andy has used 45 seconds. Okay, lads. I think this
So
is
I'm-
the time where we
Yeah.
will see if Jimmy is aiming to score or not.
Yeah. You know, I was a bit mindful that I don't want to talk tactics too much, but then, you know, they'd have to be dribbling idiots to listen to me or you, Faemir. So surely the left-hand side is an option now. So what do I know? So Jim goes to the right. Just, you know, okay.
Here comes the Blitz with the wrestle. There's the pow.
Okay, the right, actually, yeah, the left was an option, wasn't it? But the right, I think, is
Yes.
just as viable an option right now. Yeah, okay, I like this, yeah. Yeah, he did. I thought
It's
Andy had
best out of 3 games, Morglum. So whatever happens today, tomorrow there will be another game.
one of the
And
beautiful things about this format.
that game, there could be a champion.
Yeah, one of the beautiful things about this format, Faemir, is that if the first game is a draw, then it's sudden death. You know, so I wonder in game 2, in the situation where the first one is a draw, where a lot of coaches will actually play for a draw to then take it to the final game, because no one wants to be beaten in 2, do they?
Well, yeah, but again, if this game ends in a draw, whoever wins the next game wins the whole thing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine this going to the third game, 3 draws, and then it has to be sorted in kicks?
It's got so many. I love this format. I really do. I just think it's you know, actually the World Cup has absolutely gripped me. I'd gone right off of Blood Bowl for the best part of this year, especially since Blood Bowl 3 was launched, because we all know the issues with that. But since the World Cup, you know, and the amount of streaming that Jim has done, and obviously Ando, Misspell Tree, and others, it's really gripped my attention again to the point where I'm actually really enjoying playing Blood Bowl again. So, thank you, World Cup.
There you go.
Sacrificial
Bait
on the left.
Sacrificial. Oh, Jimmy does all the rolls.
I like that a lot.
Dice
I like that a lot.
There you go. Jimmy is showing us the dice.
Yeah, Peppered Biscuit showing Dimmy how to dodge, just quietly. Okay, this is a really nice breakout turn from Jim here. Adon, how you doing? Actually, I would say on balance, Andy is probably the one being diced right now. He's currently on 3 sets of snakes this drive. Hence why he hasn't got any. Is it 3 or 4 actually, Faemir? I think it was 3, wasn't it? He used a reroll trying to get that
rerolls. All the rerolls of Andy have been used.
Oh, of course, yeah. Double skulls. So, I think on balance, Andy's probably had the worst dice, although he has had a KO removal, which you would expect Necro to remove players, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's not lucky. That's just Necro. So, but now, Andy, I love this sacrificial piece on the left. I love this Lino locking that werewolf. Just amazing. It's good to be back, Adon. As I just said, without wanting to make this about me at all, I'm loving Blood Bowl again. And it's my honour to be one of Jimmy's official commentators.
Also, this is probably the last game of the last series of the World Cup where we are going to be able to comment here, because the next ones are live.
Oh no, that's bad. You can't Apo it. No.
And Rick, and especially because Jimmy doesn't have an Apo
anyway. Okay.
And Rick goes home.
Glorious.
Forever living in our heart. Rick, wherever you are, we love
victorious.
you. And what a time for Jay Can style to sub a gift to Simonicum.
Oh, that's brutal. That's brutal.
This early in the brackets. Next one is quarterfinals already.
And he can't resist the surf.
I mean, the other option is doing a dodge with a three.
Oh, he
Oh, that's
did.
the dodge!
Wow.
Didn't go for the surf. What is going on here?
Wow.
That's the most serious I've seen Andy play in years.
You know it's serious if Andy's like, nah, don't want that surf. But
And now we know what these guys will be able to do for money. Anything, even betray their more basic instincts. Their respect doing a 3+ without dodge, without rerolls, to have a better chance to stop the score.
So, Faemir, does Jimmy 1D his way through against sidestep, which seems really horrible, but
I don't think the blitz is going to be in one of the ones. I don't think he's planning that because full appearance could be absolutely traumatic. And maybe he doesn't need to blitz them because he's counting squares towards the wolf. So, you know.
3+ his way round.
Here we go. Witch doing things. Is this the blitz? He's going to click that wolf. He's clicking the wolf.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Holy mackerel. All the dice. Wow.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. And that, if this also works, if Tony, for once in his life, managed to do this.
Oh my word. That is filthy. Can I just say, that is probably...
I'm going to puke. I'm going to puke.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of World Cup coverage, right, this year. And that is, without a doubt, the filthiest maneuver I have seen. Okay? Yeah. Do you know what, Adon? I think you're right. I think all of us need to, you know... that was just awesome and awful and horrible and great at the same time.
I love it. Risky blood bowl. My favorite kind of blood bowl.
And a respect rush.
It all makes sense. It all makes sense. And the equity shifts in the Large Hadron Collider were being formed is the equivalent of a birth of a new galaxy.
I tell you what Jim's doing right now, truly notorious. Yeah, he's unclenching his bumhole. That's what he's doing. I bet it was tighter than a supermassive black hole. Seriously, that's what he's doing. He's unclenching right now. Probably give himself 3 more piles for that maneuver.
The guys from the bands of the TV license that are surrounding Jimmy's house have been heard a massive scream. And this is it.
Yeah, there's no way. So that maneuver was
Glorious.
just incredible. Do you know what? I think that maneuver needs to be analysed and talked about for months and years.
I will defend.
I mean, yes. Let's stop for a moment. He was the thing he had to do. It's a thing that involved 3+ rolls with dodge and re-rolls. So in the biggest scheme of things, it's not, oh my God, I have never seen that. But being Jimmy doing that.
Yeah,
it's
normally.
But it's Jimmy doing that. None of his players died doing that.
Yeah, normally Jim is renowned for big play fails, and nothing to do with him failing. It's dice fail him half the time. So it is actually quite refreshing seeing Jim's dice not fail him. However, on the other side of this,
going for the score in a mindset as conservative as Jimmy is. Usually Jimmy is very risk avoidance. We all know that.
Yeah, if that hadn't worked, right, that was game. That was a game winning or losing maneuver. Yeah.
If he has lost the ball in that play, that would have been the game.
I don't actually have Andy's stream on because, not that I don't like watching Andy, I do like watching Andy a great deal, but I wanted to focus on commentary for Jim. I do regret not having seen Andy's face following the back of that insanely
I can tell you
ridiculous
that
maneuver.
Andy's face is not on the stream. He has not the camera. He's absolutely focused.
Oh, is
And
it?
the
I bet.
casters are
It's
Hellboy
Hellboy
and
and
Duderino.
Duderino,
I
isn't it?
don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
who are those guys. Probably found them
Yeah,
on the
do-
pub on the way.
So Duderino's a good mate of mine. I've met him a few times in real life, a fellow martial artist, and I bet he is doing backflips over that right now. I bet he is going absolutely spare. Hellboy is super chilled out anyway.
Glorious.
But, you know,
No,
I
I
bet
won't
Duderino
give
is.
in
Yeah, I'll have to.
until
I'll have to
I'm
watch. Don't watch the
victorious.
VOD.
And I will
I
defend.
also have met
I will defend.
Hellboy in real life.
Yeah, I think Hellboy was at Andy's tournament. So that was the tournament I realised that tabletop isn't for me. But
Yes, he
Next
was
time
the
I
guy,
go to a
the guy
tabletop.
with the scarf. I met him at the UKTC.
yeah. The next tabletop tournament I'll go to, I won't play. I'll just rock up and annoy people.
Exactly, that's the way.
So
And now the one time
easiest 8-turn stall ever. Easiest 8-turn stall ever.
the one turn attempt by Andy. Very difficult without rerolls.
Talking about legends, Lupac in the house. That's a name. I haven't
All the
seen in
big names,
bloody
all the big
ages.
names.
Yeah. One of Blood Bowl's OGs, Lupac. Hope you're well, mate.
And now, well, we all know how these go. Use the walls with a frenzy to try to get more squares advancing. Get the ghoul, get the ball with the ghoul.
So,
I'm pretty sure I'm not discovering any new tactics when I say that probably that ghoul at the back will have to pick up the ball. And now the kickoff, this could be brutal.
Yeah. Anything except a reroll, Jim's thinking right now, or a timeout, of course. Jim just needs to avoid a timeout or a reroll, and it's all good. Talking about Blood Bowl legends, certainly in my top 3 in the world, PurpleChest. If you disagree with me, that's fine, but you're wrong. Certainly the best dwarf player to ever.
Oh, there is a hole. There is a hole in Jimmy's defense because of official ref.
no.
That makes the one time easier. Recording only one dodge if he comes to it. Elliot on the line.
Yeah. That is brutal, isn't it? And there appears to be a gaping hole.
Still, the kick is really, really unlucky for Andy. So,
Yeah, it's almost unrecoverable, isn't it? And obviously, the latest edition of Blood Bowl has literally spunked all over passing. Oh, there we go.
oh, Elliot takes the pow and the armor break. And
Purple
if
chest.
I can see
Pleasure.
things more or less, now the one turn has become even more complicated. Okay, here comes. Oh my god, it's me being hit in the face with 3 dice by a fucking werewolf. Okay, the fact that he took the pow suggests me.
No, it wasn't on, was it? It wasn't on. So anyway,
Oh,
it
you're
wasn't
gonna
on.
foul me! Andy, I sure.
Well, I got time for that, you know. Not every day you see Andy put his fouling boots on, but I got time for that.
Well, it was. I think the foul was the right decision.
Oh, 100%.
He's behind.
Yeah.
He's behind. Jimmy's already 1 man down. So if he gets another man down, he will be 10 versus 11.
It's pretty simple, Faemir. There's never a bad time to foul. Okay? Turn 1,
Yeah.
turn 16,
Yeah.
foul away, baby. Foul away.
Yeah, let's not forget that Jimmy is in this game because I managed to score a touchdown in the last game.
I like to see them, just on a side note, Jim's continuing his proud tradition of not being able to injure any of the opposition.
No, there was a couple armor breaks, something like that. The gentle touch. This is the soft side of Jimmy, and thanks a lot, Jake and Stal, for the gifted sub. Much appreciated. Solid defense.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, but there is not that much that Jimmy can change here. I mean, maybe tune up things a little.
I don't know if he even moves. And do you know what? I've never had a solid defense that doesn't result in 4 players being able to be moved. Never had a solid defense that results in that. I don't know if
the minimum amount of players. They can move, and he's going. Oh, yeah. Maybe deciding to protect versus the Francis.
Yeah.
Now AndyDavo now has to think: do I go for the win, trying to score and then counter score, or I'm going for the draw? And I probably think that Andy will be aiming for the draw.
Oh, 100%. And Andy will only be playing for one thing here. He will not be doing anything risky. He'll be super risk averse here. And why wouldn't you be? Jim, however, do you know what? Jim's not got anything to lose right now, because what Andy isn't going to do is put the ball back in Jim's hands unless Andy goes on an attrition tear.
Yeah, I think that it will be really strange if Andy goes for the quick score.
Yeah. So, by that virtue, Jim can be pretty aggressive here, can't he? Hey, look, we saw Jim's turn 6 play, right? If that works, then I think Jim could pretty much do anything he wants to. Just roll them dice, baby.
Because I wonder if he even pop dodge in any of the rolls.
I can't. No, I don't think he did. I think they were straight, weren't they?
Here comes the first hit on Elliot the Gnome.
Elliot takes it like a champ. He's got a chin, that boy. He's got a chin.
Takes it like a champ, like he takes on the young college students now that when he's in Leeds.
Yeah, absolutely, PurpleChest. I don't know about the Trump analogy, of course, but Jim's a different character now. Jim's a reformed character. Some would say boring. But
and Dimmy G gets KO.
Dimmy has had a shocking game here. Just quietly, right? He has had an absolute shocker of a game here.
Two players out. Jimmy with 10. Still losing one player in the LOS versus Necro is something that you have to admit is realistic. Oh, I think here comes the bleed.
Yeah.
Calcium get hit in the face.
Easy. Not a problem. Not my first rodeo.
There you go. Just an armor break. Nothing relevant.
So, what you do here? Do you even go? Oh, he does go straight.
Oh, side step, and now the thing that Crazy only has that squares there.
Jim needs to change the color of his dice or something, or throw him in the nearest harbor. Yeah, because he can't roll an armor break for shit.
Well, but he can roll a dodge and a hand off, and that's what matters.
Well, yeah, but dodging, hold my pint.
There you go. Protecting some players.
Yeah, they do seem worse on offense, Dimmy. I guess because the werewolves have to be mindful of frenzy trapping themselves, don't they? And again, a player of Jim's caliber is going to set up traps.
Yeah, but the thing is, with the amount of guard that Andy does, it's relatively easy to avoid getting into a frenzy trap.
Yeah. You don't want to expose the wolves either, dear. You want to hit with them because you want the claw to do a thing, but you don't want to expose them because if you remove a wolf against the necro player, it hurts, doesn't it? It hurts big time. Yeah, absolutely. And this is why removing a wolf or a ghoul is just so key, isn't it?
Yes. Image is 100% right. There is only 3 players in Andy's team that can carry the ball. The wolves and the ghoul, because the white doesn't have hands, and well, the others are zombies and fleshies, which they can carry the ball. We have seen that happening in the past with catching a bounce or something like that, but it's not the kind of play you want with the ball. And here comes the hit.
So he's gonna get 4 dice on this blodger. That's what he's looking at. And he's going to push through the little channel, through the tunnel of love.
Can he afford to go to the side this early? Seems to be the case. Yes, there's a lot of players moving to the right. Suddenly the pitch is becoming smaller. Here comes the bleed. Doesn't get the first roll. Doesn't get in the second one. Oh. He needs to cover that.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't know if I
because now the blister is a 2+ to be able to circle around.
I don't think I like that. I don't think I like using the wolf there. I'd have probably used the wraith or the ghoul. He's only got 1 ghoul. I'd have used the wraith there because then that blitzer will
be surrounded by 2 players.
Yeah.
And now that blister has a 2+, and the pieces on the right left side are free, and this could be an involvement maneuver, a flanking maneuver.
Yeah.
Wise like a fox. I mean, he can base the ball easily.
Yeah.
Now, is that the best option? I'm not sure. Dimi, what are the readings on about equity? The Spanish caster is Faemir.
The mighty Faemir.
Yes.
Did he's just come back with the equity-ometer? Oh, I've got to work on that. 69%?
69%. Oh, wait a second. Jimmy didn't go for the back of the cage. Instead, they still
I was going to say to you, Faemir, when you suggested that get basing the ball, the problem with basing the ball is Jim would have then put players behind the Necros, which I don't know if I love the idea of right now. I think Jim is probably better off just adopting a more elf screeny style defense here.
He could have done nearly both things. He only needed 3 players that have 3 on the left side to try, to get
it would have been super aggressive, wouldn't it? It would have been super aggressive, and no one would have blamed Jim for it. But I think there's time for that. Sidestep. Ooh, okay.
Going that way.
I thought he would have sidestepped towards the blodger, the blitzer, but
Well, now he has the guard piece there. That's the 3 elves basically with guard. That's good.
Yeah.
Jimmy didn't
So-
follow. That will have been basing the ball, which in the all gentlemen rules is victory.
Just looked at the time bank. They've still got a nice, healthy amount of time between them.
They are playing fast. They are playing fast. They know
They are.
the risks.
Well, Jim's naturally a fast player anyway. Sometimes a little bit too fast for his own good. He's on record as saying that he was going to use the time bank, really analyze things. You know, Jim has always been an impulse player. Jim sees, you know, the lines. He sees the strategies very quickly. However, he is going to give himself the right amount of time to come to the best decision possible, as we saw in turn 6 of the first half. Just saying.
Now comes where to bleed. Everywhere where there could be a bleed, there is a bludger there. The ball moves a little ahead, inch by inch.
It's all about those inches.
You need those inches, and here comes the hit.
There's a
Gets
big
the
pow.
pow. Big pow on a bludger. A normal break. But that opens some space, more basing, more protection around the cage. He has still another 2D with a zombie.
Cheeky little zombie hit.
I mean, even if it was a 1 in 9, it would be both players down, so good enough for Andy, in any case.
You know that Jim's looking for an angle here. He's looking for a shot.
He was considering again going to the back of the cage, but I think this time is a little more difficult.
Yeah.
Instead, look at me powering a fucking great.
Jim really needs an armor break here, doesn't he?
For God's sake, I've been 3 a.m. in the morning in clubs in Edinburgh.
Oh, talk the armor break in. Just saying.
That's saying. There you go. Okay, that makes things much easier for Jim in the next turns, because obviously that's a 1 guard less.
That's a really nice little armor break, that is.
And it wasn't even the bleed. Oh my God. I could feel Jimmy thinking on a blitz in the wall.
Yeah,
Now that
so
the
he's
guard
thinking.
is down. He moved the arrow in that general direction. No, wait,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah. So run the blitzer around to tag 2 zombies, witch elf in front of the werewolf, or just go for a straight witch werewolf hit.
He could take down the whole left side of Andy's defense.
Or Steve. Now that's a shout.
Or he could go for the right side, which right now is protected only by a zombie.
Oh my
Well,
lord.
the early layer of the onion that is AndyDavo's defense right now.
I'm deliberately not saying too much at the moment. I'll leave it to the chat to point out what could happen. I think
There you go.
Jim's refused. So yeah, I guess he could have leapt over his own prone player and got in the cage. But he would have had to face up the zombie and the werewolf.
The leap was them the overplayed. What is a 6+?
Yeah. Hey, Squiggy, it would have been a rowdy move. This is the safer play, isn't it? You know, the onus is on Andy right now to push forward, and pushing forward with a stunned white as well. There was a 4+ dodge as well, yeah, but
you have to do the rolls.
You commit. Well, yeah. Hey, the problem is if you decide to do it, you're committed to it, and if it doesn't
it's a
work,
dice game. It's a dice game
Yeah.
after all.
You're right, Faemir, but hey, if you commit that heavily to that kind of maneuver and it doesn't work, you're very out of position then, aren't you? That Dio, of that, I have no doubt, mate. How you doing, by the way?
All right. Oh, here comes PC PurpleChest for the last turns of the game.
Well, mainly I just exiting through adverts, and I'm not subscribed at the moment. But I do think there's something I could add. There's an interesting sort of meta problem going on here, which is worth just a brief discussion. The Dark Elves here, not really built to be super aggressive with the low reroll, high dodge build. But it is super safe. What it's very good at is pulling cages apart. You can put the blodge sort of on the corners and hope to get some tearing of the cage that way. Of course, that does mean putting them at risk from the wolves here. So whether Jimmy feels like committing, very hard to just elf wall in front of Necromantic, because of course the stand firm of the golems and the frenzy of the wolves means they can always either force space or just not get pushed back. So they're pretty good at making slow, steady progress, which isn't great if you're trying to elf wall in front of them. And then of course they've got move 7 and 8 pieces to outflank you if they get anywhere near to get the score done. So we might see Jimmy go with a more active defense, trying to use those blodges on the cage corners and things, but as it is, the Necro haven't made much progress yet, so maybe the elf walling will hold out.
Would you have made a move on the cage by now? Would you have done that? Would you have based corners with blodge? Because obviously Andy's lack of tackle is a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say I would. 1-0 up at this point in a possible 3-game series. I suppose still the expected outcome here is that the Necromantic get home. So I kind of feel, I've got 11 elves still. I've got all my rerolls at this point. I've still got 4 blodge blitzers on the pitch. I can put those in people's. I can put those in the way of some of the worrying pieces. I can use ordinary elves to tag up some of the zombies, and I can spend a few turns seeing what happens. And if it starts to go wrong, I can elf my way out of it and still wall up. But that said, it's really easy to be super conservative here because you've got the one.
Here comes the chain. Double power.
Yeah, it's giving himself a nice wolf hit.
Yes, that's a really nice little chain there. And he can apply pressure to the front of that cage.
Yeah, the tempting thing for Jimmy here is, of course, he doesn't have to do any of these things. He can just elf wall, and if it's a draw, it's still a decent result for him. So, it's tempting not to try, but there's kind of low risk in doing so.
This is the absolute beating of the wolf, which is going to be needed because
only if he can actually get it down.
This is really nice as well. He's giving himself multiple dice at this wolf, isn't he? Multiple dice.
Yes, but he couldn't risk pushing it out behind his line there. Interestingly, he had to push it back up in, which has put his witch onto the flesh golem. So he's now got a lot of contact, whether he wanted it or not. A nice stun on the wolf, so 2 stunned pieces. I think this would be definitely the turn I would, get lots of contact and see what happens.
Yeah. That just quietly, that's a wrestle witch. Although actually the flesh golem isn't got block anyway, so that's a moot point. Jim would take the both down, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you're right. They should both be wrestled. Sadly, wow, so a huge turn for Jimmy there. The jump up working effectively, giving him a second blitz.
Hold to your chairs, gentlemen.
So the Blitz got a power, the PC moved with the Blitz, got an armor breaker, a stun, the PC moved with that Blitz, he got another stun, and then the PC jumped up, he got a KO. That's a huge equity swing right there.
Yeah, we'll have to go to Dimmy for the equity meter. If we can get an equity update, please, Dimmy, that would be great.
Come on, Jimmy, we send you to Switzerland, for God's sake.
Controversially, it's still on 69%. I think the equity meter may be broken.
What screen are you watching on the Stephen Hawking chair? By the way, do the speakers of the Stephen Hawking chair always sound like his voice, or you can put music and listen to a podcast or something like that? How many podcasts can store the Stephen Hawking chair? I know everybody was always wondering this.
Back to the game, eh?
Okay,
So what about this game?
Well, I mean, the one thing Jimmy didn't do is put any pressure on the rear of this cage, so there's an obvious way out. You're probably trying to just cut off a corner of the pitch and keep the ball safe there whilst you recover, maybe. I mean, Andy is in a tough spot here. You can't really see the golems going anywhere. Only free wolf is stuck on someone.
Retreating on turn 13. It hurts, doesn't it? It hurts.
It does. It means next turn you have to find a way forwards.
Yeah.
So instead, Andy's choosing to come rowdy, which I quite like.
Yeah.
I think he's rowdy, but not that rowdy. He has another chain with a zombie hitting one of the blodgers.
I preferred him staying where he was, because on a push here, there's an automatic 2-die on that, a 1-die on that golem. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm crazy about that, but okay. Then he's wolfing to clear it. Lovely use of the T-shape from Andy there. He does love his squares and his T's, does Andy? Andy, I'm a surfer me, Davo.
And he went for the hit with the zombie.
Yeah, I think you have to. I think it's
That's 100% the free out of jail blitzer there.
So PC finally applying pressure to the back of the cage, which I think is the right time to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think at this point, Jimmy senses some blood. There's still a lot of pieces on the ground that need to get up from their stun. There is still that one that went off field. So yeah, again, and his odds of, I mean, the golems really aren't going to be able to come forward with the ball in time to really defend this drive now. So there's going to have to be some form of potato. The elves are brilliant at getting off this level of aggressive defense and getting back to catch potatoes. So as long as Jimmy doesn't overcommit to the rear here, he should still be looking at all good options.
Voro the Forgotten, what did you miss? You've missed an epic game of Blood Bowl, mate. There's a lot that's happened, so unfortunately you'll probably have to watch Jim's replay or watch the replay of this stream. But a lot has gone on. It's been a fascinating game.
Well, Jimmy managed to score in the first half, and now Andy's struggling to advance in the second one.
Yeah, in a nutshell, yeah.
Yeah, in a pulsating game of Blood Bowl, we've had one touchdown.
Yeah.
Yes, he will, Big GG. He'll do an official cast with, him being all serious and no one swearing.
Yes, and saying things like, "Oh my God, I was so nervous. You can imagine the stress. Oh my God, I was sweating here, blah, blah," and all that.
Look, other than the Stephen Hawking reference and me saying shit once, right? I think it's been a pretty clean stream. Just saying.
I didn't mention Stephen Hawking. I mentioned a Stephen Hawking chair. Oh,
right, okay. Fair enough.
I mean, no one's even mentioned strangle wanks or anything particularly controversial.
Exactly. We respect deeply the science of Stephen Hawking, the Nobel Prize winner. The science and the technology in his chair. Oh.
Okay, I quite like this. There wasn't a much easier blitz target. Knocking that golem over, which was always pretty high odds as it's blockless, does prevent the easy advance. It's that nicely advanced golem that could just push him a little bit deeper on 14. So it's For once, the golem's quite a nice target.
Putting blodge on the werewolf. I like that. You know, obviously there's upright werewolf. I like that a lot as well.
Well, notice that all of his mobile pieces, both the whites and the wolf, are all based. And the other wolf, of course, on the ground. So he's really trying to limit his easy movement options here.
Yeah.
And as I said, you know, pull enough of the people that could go with the ball so that when the ball goes, it has to go at some point forwards. It's going to go in some form of potato. For those that don't understand, a potato, of course, is an undefended attack with the ball, not in a cage. That is what we call a potato.
Andy's in a bit of a pickle here, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He stabilised very well, but he didn't manage to get that forward momentum, didn't manage to push those golems up in the elf faces. Got no armour breaks or removals, and hence has really struggled for progress.
And there is a lot of pieces in contact, but most of them doesn't have blocks. So the 1 in 9 shadow overlooms the pitch.
To some degree, of course.
Look how big is this game worldwide that the Americans have decided to make it a bank holiday. The whole weekend of these games being played.
I hear that most of them have given thanks today.
Yes, they're giving thanks to be able to watch this.
Yeah, the new friendly and collegiate atmosphere between these two legends, Jimmy Fantastic and AndyDavo.
Bit boring, isn't it? Yeah, I like a little bit. I like a little bit. I like a little bit of needle, right? I like a little bit of box office. You know, I'm a big fan of. You know, even if it's manufactured a little bit. You know, there could have been the odd C-nut dropped around. But you know, hey, I understand that. You know, hey, this is why I'm not invited to Montpellier. I get that, and it's all good. But
for me, I think it's mostly the strangle wanking.
And Calcium, if you think you are invited to Montpellier for your speech, okay, you can think that.
Yeah. There's probably a million reasons.
Lie to yourself, whatever way you prefer.
Yeah. It's all good. They got 3 of the absolute best ambassadors for Blood Bowl right now going.
Miss Petrie, AndyDavo, and Jimmy Fantastic will be casting the last games of the tournament.
3 fantastic representatives of the community.
Actual studio.
Yeah, you really couldn't ask for more. That's 3 great voices of the community. And I think that's going to be, some great casting to watch. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Oh, cheeky pal. Of course, it's an armor break because 1Ds. I tell you one thing that really grinds my gears about the Wraith animation and the sprite itself. It doesn't look like it's in the right square. I've actually almost been caught out a few times. I've had to sort of change the angle of the pitch because when you're going past a Wraith, I've actually found myself cutting directly across its line because I misunderstood which square it's in. Am I alone in that?
They do, to make it helpful, they do have these big circles underneath.
But that's probably one of the reasons why you are not being invited to Montpellier.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, all right, okay, fair enough. Hey, I was just trying to make conversation, all right? Easy, boys. But yeah, correct.
But let's not forget that the Calcium plays without the skills, the icon skills, or the circles.
That's not very fair. Calcium has developed some skills in Blood Bowl now.
Oh, bless you. But I do play without the skills because...
Sorry, the icons. I said the icons.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I do play without the icons and the circles. Because all I care about is fouling people, frankly.
Yeah, and most Blood Bowl skill, yeah.
I'll take it. That's a compliment in the world of Calcium.
Okay, now Jimmy looking for ways to apply more pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still staying on all of these mobile pieces. There's so very few on the Necro team. And of course, 2 of those, the whites, can't touch the ball.
There is an obvious chain hitting one of the wolves. Oh, I think Jimmy managed to see it. It was nearly impossible to see it.
Here we go.
Oh my God.
Is he just retreating the ball, or does he fancy some ball contact?
No, I really like that because he's obviously that werewolf was now prone and locked on a player as well.
Yep.
I love that. Love it.
Yeah, there's no easy options here. I mean, the great thing is, and it often does, is that the armor of the Dark Elves has held up really, really well this game, hasn't it?
Yeah, unless, you know, in a nutshell, when you break this all down, if you're a bash team, and Necro is a bash team, if you do not remove elves, they're going to ruin your day, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
And Blunt to us inform us that his local league just got the right to take part in the next World Cup. The Jordi Bloodbowl League are in the next World Cup. That means, you know, it makes very clear that the World Cup is for everybody.
I'm joining Dimmy's Kebab League next season. I'm going to qualify through Dimmy's league.
And that's a nice sweet turn for Jimmy, making things still very complicated for the...
Yeah, this is a fascinating turn. He's actually left... I mean, there's a way through I would be taking here, but unfortunately, Jimmy's slightly split his defense and left a gap in Hull. And if this pulls off, because he's pulled back, he can also bring at least one of the wolves with him and one of the whites.
Oh
yeah, and that's the blitz. Straight through that witch.
Yeah.
And now he's got the guard to move the other blots Witzer on 2 die, leaving a gap in Hull. Yeah, that was one shockingly bad turn, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that double skull still didn't help. Rerolled, of course, into Pals. I'd promote the Golem with that, mate. Yeah, okay, knocking the Blitzer back's fine, but I'd have pushed the Golem one more square down.
Yeah. Yeah, because then that would have...
it could be part of my screening.
Yeah,
well, it's still going to jump up, but yeah, it would either jump up in the wrrong direction or jump up into a Golem's face.
100%. 100%. Nonetheless, I think Jim will be kicking himself right now for that.
Yeah, that was very poor positioning, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Bit of a shame. It had gone a really nice half till then. It put the pressure on at the right time. I think he pulled it off one turn too early and then went for an elf screen that wasn't good.
Well, as Jim would say, don't say it's over.
No, there's still chances to get in front of this. He's still got a fast team. He can still even go in on a 5+, remember? Which with dodge is 55% to at least get there and see some dice on the ball. So there is lots and lots of options he can still try here. But what was a great position has fallen apart like a paper bag in strong rain.
It has evaporated somewhat, hasn't it? It'll be interesting to get Jimmy's take on that one. And I think Jim has always been a very honest character. He'll be the first person to say, yeah, I messed up there.
He won't. I think I was. But he will certainly be the first one to admit it when he comes on and talks to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exactly where I saw the cage forming, except I do think that Golem could have been one down as well. But because now, of course, yeah, I still think it's fine. The two things that witch can jump up onto are a Golem and a sidestepping white. And it's likely to now get fouled, and does. And is stunned.
No more jump up for the witch.
So either, in my opinion, Jimmy had to pull back and have that elf wall up in a better shape, not allowing that route through that wasn't very hard to find. Or he could have just stayed up in the faces of the golems, the wolves and the whites and hoped that not much could have got away and that he was chasing down just a potato. Now, of course, he's trying to break a full cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's, I think, settling just for some ball contact from the front. And then trying to get a big old screen up in front of it. So let's see how effectively he can do this. And he hasn't got a lot of wiggle room, remember. He was late getting forwards, finding that space. So he does need to score next turn. So no real time for that ghoul to head backwards. And in there might Jimmy's salvation lie.
Jimmy G with the fact that he liked the winning more than drawing. What a controversial opinion.
Yeah, Ogre Dungeon, I'm not sure this is a lack of experience from Jimmy. I think Jimmy knows exactly what he's doing. He's played plenty of regen and theory build it even more. I think that was genuinely just a mistake.
That the Ogre Dungeon is joking here, obviously. It's a running joke. The lack of tabletop experience, using by argument in some forums.
Yeah,
yes, okay.
That had nothing to do. That had nothing to do with tabletop experience. That had everything to do with World Cup nerves and the pressure of the moment. And none of us are perfect.
Chalice nerves.
The best Blood Bowl players in the world make mistakes.
Of course,
it was just a mistake.
It's one of my mantras, isn't it? Every player makes mistakes. Every turn, every drive, and most activations.
The lack of tabletop experience is a running joke because some guy accused Jimmy and Artemis not being very good at Blood Bowl because they lack tabletop experience.
Well, I mean, there is a different attitude to it, a different risk profile, but they're good enough players to instantly adjust their thinking to that. Go for it is now a rush, and yes, it is. But there isn't a sort of funky rock song with "Go for it" in, whereas "Rush, Rush" is
it's not the same.
a favourite of mine.
Oh, here we go. Or plus dodge.
Well, at this point, that's the only place it's actually very useful. If it gets in there, it's incredibly annoying. I really liked it. It's 75% to make that dodge, and I think that's probably the best square it can go. But Jimmy's just checking.
That's even better. Yeah. With all 2 pluses.
Yep.
There you go to 6s. Easy, just roll 6s.
You can do anything you want in Blood Bowl with those.
It's the game. Tabletop online, roll 6s.
Okay, so he's got to come out to the right side as we look. That's the only way that makes any sense here.
Yeah.
You can move the top blitzer on the golem just with that golem, and then you're just looking to get that ghoul away into the space the golem's in, and then down the space just below where that blitzer touching the golem is now, then around the other one and in. I think that's the only sensible route. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to do anything other than a 1 in 9 dodge out.
And 16 for Andy.
But at the moment, this is a 2-die 1 in 9, followed by a 1 in 9, followed by a 2+ to score. So that's not bad, but it's not great.
I don't see an alternative. PC. I think you're bang on as usual.
I think much else other than that is going to be very, very complex. You can move the witch, but you're risking a 1 in 9. I don't see that you earn much because I'm not sure you can move the blitzer behind it.
Yeah.
And he gets the first push.
I think it is just this 1 in 9. And then that's first one done. So a 1 in 9 dodge and a 2+ gets him home.
Here comes the blitz.
Ooh.
Okay, now if this is a POW, but oh, okay. So he can push himself off.
That was a double rush to do that into a 1 in 9.
I'm not sure that's better than the 1 in 9, but I guess with rerolls it is. And now he should be able to clear the witch, which gives him just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so now it's no more dice. So it's just 2+, 2+, and then any kind of push there, I think, did it. I don't think he needed the POW. So that's nicely found by Andy. That is better.
And there you go, 1-1. 1-1. So we'll go to the second game unless Jimmy manages to score here.
Yeah, he ain't scoring it. Not with 2 sidesteppers and 2 stand firm.
Yeah.
We'll say it's over. All right. Obviously, timeout is a thing, but that's about all.
I think I'd be setting up for the timeout here. There is a way if Andy leaves the wolf where he's got it at the moment. No. If he leaves only one space back from the line, there is a way to use the frenzy, obviously, to bring it back in and use that piece. But without it, Jimmy's got no answer to 2 stand firm and a sidestepper. So here you are absolutely playing for the timeout.
100% timeout time. And now
to the point where if I was Andy here, I would be double blocking the wing on the right as we look, where there's a soul zombie, because that's now the wing I would go down if I get the timeout.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know what? Jim's going to be kicking himself over this game, over that one loose turn. Absolutely kicking himself.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to have another close look at the turn before to see exactly why he ended up in that and how he chose those decisions. But it was one very loose turn after, as the timeouts, as the chat's been saying, a very nicely played. You know, first half mostly I thought was very, very solid. I was eating my dinner, but it all looked good. And then the second half, I thought he'd defended really well and then gone in at the right time and aggressively enough. But either he didn't pull off well enough or he shouldn't have pulled off.
Yeah, just quietly, Andy has fought against 4 double skulls this game. You know, Andy's dice haven't been optimal here. And also, Jim rolled an absolute metric crap ton of dice to get the breakaway for the touchdown in the first half. I think on balance, I think Andy has been the better player here. Not by much, but hey, you know me, right?
He was super patient in that second half. In terms of getting forward, but you know, he also can't risk his one ghoul, so you have to be really cautious with this necro build. So I think Andy's played within those limits. I think he's played really well. He took the space. You know, the minute it was there, he saw it and took it. I'd really like it. What Jim has got to not do here, if I was Jim's mental coach, is get up in his head about, you know, having had such a good game with the good dice and not quite managing to take advantage of it.
And there you go. The game is over, and we'll be back tomorrow for the second game in the series.
Amazing.
Two of
the top coaches in Blood Bowl doing their thing.
Wins the series. And if there is a draw in that game, as we said before, there will be a third game Saturday or Sunday.
Hello.
Well played, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
What a game.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I guess the mental exhaustion must be a thing there, because that was 15 turns of pretty deep thought, wasn't it? You two were not giving each other anything there, and to try to play around it must have been mental gymnastics in itself.
Yeah, it was hard. It's annoying that I got the good dice and didn't win, isn't it? You rolled so many dub skulls.
Jim, I did warn this might be what you were coming in thinking. No, it isn't. You played great Blood Bowl for 14 turns. You had the better dice, yes, and you used them well. You got it done. There was a bad turn in the second half. Whether you know that yet or not, I'm sure you do. That's a shame. We all do that. And hey, it means it was a draw rather than a win. But it was never in doubt that it was going to be any worse than a draw. So you take that away and you come back stronger next game.
That was a really hard turn, I thought. You know, the fact he made the wolf dodge and he got that stun, I just didn't know how I could cover everything. But yes, I guess I should have kept the centre, so at least he had to go to the side. Yeah, you either needed stronger central walls or needed to stay up in his face and hope that not much gets through. But it did look like even then... His face, but that looked hard. It just all looked horrible. Like, that was a really hard
turn. Both were bad options. But I felt, as always, when there's two bad options at extremes, both of which have huge risk, when we sort of fall halfway in the middle, it isn't always good enough, is it?
No, I don't know. That was really hard.
It was a tough turn, but a 2-die blitz followed by another 2-die to get all that space.
Yes, yeah.
After the hard work you put in, mate, it was hard to watch for you. But let's celebrate 14 great turns.
Oh god, the I mean, all the dice had to roll to score, and then bloody. I don't know. I didn't like that. I was in his face for too long. Right, it was about like turn 4 or something of the half. I wanted to wait longer before I started going in, and then it just felt like it had taken one turn too long. When like
turn 6, please. We need to see turn 6 again, all right? Because that was without a doubt the filthiest thing I've seen this week. So,
no. Again, I had no problem with that. I was eating my dinner, Jim. I wasn't here. I had no problem with it because there are turns where you have to do that, and to know it, recognise it, and say that I'm going to have to roll them and roll them. That's what it takes. So I thought that was a really nice turn.
Yeah, it was beautiful, filthy and beautiful in the same.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, gentlemen, I'll let
'Cause
you
you're filthy.
the analyze.
Gorgeous.
Cheers. See you
See you later.
Faemir.
Have a
Good-
nice.
See
I'll be
you.
back
Thank you very
tomorrow
much.
for the next game.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, like this is a hard turn. Like, okay, yes, you can say that I shouldn't let him get through so easily, but like this is a hard turn. This stun was
Yeah,
brutal.
it is.
The wolf dodge and the stun. Even without the stun, I can just keep everybody in. But the stun makes me think I've got to back off. That was the problem. The stun made me think I had to back off. I could have tried the dodge there, but then I still can't leave him alone. So like, yeah, if there just hadn't been a stun, I put him back in and then just hit everything.
Yep.
I
mean,
thought
it's a very difficult turn.
uphilling. I thought about uphilling a blockless uphill to chain this guy into there, and then it still wasn't even that good, right? It still wasn't even that good, even if I did that. But
I'd even really liked the golem hit the turn before. You know, normally you would always say, "Oh, don't waste your blitz and get all tied up on a golem." But I thought it was really good. It stopped his momentum. It meant he couldn't push forward, and suddenly, yes, he had a really good turn where everything worked for him. This is a very tough position.
yeah,
You've either got to get those walls exactly where you need them to be, which on the tabletop, you know, you can put dice out and work it out before you do a dodge. A bit harder online. Or you've got to stay up in there and hope that you delay enough that only, 2 or 3 pieces make it through, giving you a hit. But the answer we came up with was I'm sure you will find a better one. Because it was a very easy blitz through us, sadly. Didn't even need powers, did he? Just 2 pushes on 1 in 9s.
Well, when you say easy blitz, right, I just need to be clear. I could still be looking at that now and not see it, right?
Really?
PC instantly saw it, right?
If these
So
two
I'm really
were both
glad
won
PC
over, right?
Commentary team.
If these
You
two
hit the
just
witch
both
and it
won
gives you the
over,
square. Yeah, absolutely.
then
He's
all
got to
right.
come around on that right-hand side, and
Yeah.
even though if he hits one over, and they're blodge pieces, he's not going to. But even if he does, it's still a shoulder he's got to get most of the team around.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you could even move the first one of those forwards and inner square, and the second one into the one you've just left.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Allowing you to space slightly more to the left in other ways,
Yeah. So this guy up here,
while staying
and
wide.
this guy over there, and this guy over there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that puts you just a bit wider, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry, Jim. I can't say anything other than that this wasn't your best turn on a game that every turn otherwise I thought your positioning was great. Your
Or I could
choices
just
were
hit a
good.
line. I could just hit a line, couldn't I? These two.
You could have just
been
put the
there,
line up
been
again,
there.
saying yes, you could knock an edge of it, but you're going to have to go around it.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't have the pace. You've denied him enough of the pace. The golems can't come. The zombies can't come. You've tied up at least one of the whites. Wraiths that's going to have to dodge. So you've given him enough problems. So yeah, and there's one wolf on the floor over the other side of the pitch
Yeah.
that definitely isn't coming if you make him push to the right.
Yeah.
It was so close to a good shape. It just
Yeah, it wasn't a bad turn, was it? It was just two players different, and it's a good turn.
Literally, it's tiny things. And Davo, of course, instantly saw it and instantly
Yes,
went, "Brilliant! I've got my space."
Yeah. I mean, it looks horrendous. It looks horrendous. Like, it's funny that it's 2 players wrong and it's a horrendous mistake.
Yeah,
Tragic.
but move 2 players 1 square each, or 2 squares on one of them and 1 square on the other, and suddenly it's kind of fine.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
I guess you saw it pretty quick, Jim. As soon as you clicked end turn, I guess you saw it.
Yes. Yeah.
In fact, sometimes you see it before the end of the turn, but there's just not much you can do.
Yeah. I mean,
You haven't got pieces left.
It's funny because it didn't feel like a horrendous mistake, but then it turned out to be, right? Because it was just like a couple of squares wrong, but obviously a couple of squares wrong, it was a horrendous mistake. It's sad that it's sad that a couple of squares wrong it becomes a horrendous mistake. But
I mean, I wouldn't say horrendous mistake, but it's a definite mistake. I'd say big mistake, but I wouldn't go further than big.
Andy gave you nothing there, right?
Yeah.
Andy, despite having pretty shocking dice, he rolled 3 dub skulls in the first half by turn 5. He burned all his rerolls, but he gave you, even in the face of dice like that, I think he was on 4 dub skulls total. Most mortals like me, you give me 4 dub skulls in a game of Blood Bowl, right? It's going to ruin my day. But Andy gave you nothing in the face of that, and you still came away with a draw, mate. So yeah, you gave Andy very little as well. But
as I predicted before you came in, Jim, you are feeling that. Yeah, I maybe had slightly the better dice, and I haven't quite brought that home.
Yes.
Well, tomorrow's a different day, different dice. None of this matters. This is all gone. It's behind you.
Yep.
Come to it with a fresh mind. You win that game, you're through. Simple.
Yep. 3 squares
And
differently.
you've still got the elves. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I
don't
wanna
let it
know
get
on
in
a
your head.
scale of 1 to 10.
But no, Davo was very, very good today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's always really good. He's always really good.
You were just good.
And the team's really good. Like, the team's really... Like, it's so hard. It's so hard to break them down because they've guard and, like, you know, the people put them in the right squares, you know, like Diamond's the same, you know, they have the guards and you're like, I can't hit anything ever. You know, you just can't hit anything
but you're not...
ever.
I've tried to tell you this, Jim. You're not... Dark Elves don't hit things. You don't need removals.
You need to get past, though.
You've got 4 blodge pieces. You can pull pieces out of position with them. You can ride them. They only knock you over 30%, even on 2 die. And then they can't form their walls if they're busy hitting. And they can't dodge off with their wraiths and golems.
You've got to score. You've got to score. PC.
Yeah, it's not... I mean, look, if it was easy...
I'd roll a million dice.
If it was easy, we'd all be doing it.
Oh, my God.
Talking about dice, right? I want to know on a scale of 1 to 10 how much El Duderino was losing his mind when you pulled off that turn 6 move, right?
Yeah, probably quite a lot. Yeah.
His mind in Andy's chat. I'm going to have to watch Andy's stream back, right? Just for that moment. I bet Andy's face was an absolute picture because 1 second you're in trouble, the next you're at the other end of the pitch going, "Hello."
I'm just hoping he deployed Jimmy rolled all the dice because it's a perfect moment for that. That's
yes. I mean, I had to
definitely rolled all the dice. Sometimes
you
you got to roll all the dice.
I guess I should have done it so that he didn't have to. You know, he got 2 sidesteppers in there without having to roll any dice, basically, right? Because he had no rerolls. It's just hard to punish their lack of rerolls on offense, right? If it, like on my offense, if it had been my defense and he dub scored 3 times, easy win, right? I just base everything. And he eventually fails something and loses. So the 3 dub scores on his defense, it just didn't actually hurt him. It made him play like more conservatively and probably better in the end, right? Yeah. But I mean, he did do really well. I knew he would. Like, that's the annoying thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, other people, I'd expect to make more mistakes, and Davo didn't really make any mistakes at all, did he, in the entire game?
Well, we expect nothing else between 2, greats of the games like you two. And the fact that it was probably settled into a draw based on 1 mediocre level mistake, I think is quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, a nice game. Now, I'm going to go for a cigarette as well and let you analyse it or analyse something else.
Yeah.
But that was really fun. I shall try and pop in tomorrow if I can.
Yes, of course. Cheers. Cheers, PC.
And I guess that's a good moment for me to call time on this little venture. Absolutely love being in the gym. It's an honour as always. As far as I'm concerned, mate, you're still on my Mount Rushmore of Blood Bowl great. Don't lose heart. You played out of your skin. You made not even an error. You made a choice, and it didn't work out. I'm afraid I can see this going to 3 games. That's my prediction. And who knows what's going to happen in the final game. But I'd expect no less from 2 Blood Bowl greats like you and Andy. You 2 are at the top of the tree for a reason. So on that note, mate, I will see you tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Calcium. And anyway, the commentators were Faemir, Calcium, Kaz, and PurpleChest. They all have their own Twitch channels and stuff, so I could shout them out. They could shout themselves out. They're all admins, I think. That was it. Thank you very much, everybody. God, I mean, it's funny that just 2 squares differently, and I just did it. I just kind of did it, automatically, right? I just autopiloted. I'll have a screen here to stop them going around the outside, and if I'd just autopiloted a bit differently, it would have been a wonderful turn. So I was running out of time. I took so long at the start of that turn, like I went deep into my time bank and I just autopiloted the last few moves, and as it was, that's what killed me, right? If I'd had 7 minutes in my time bank and I looked at it a bit more, and it was a critical turn, I probably should have used a bit more time bank and really thought about those last squares, but never mind. I just autopiloted that turn and it lost me. Normally it wouldn't, right? Versus people other than the Davo, it doesn't lose me the game autopiloting that turn. But I didn't even think it was that bad, And then he does his turn and then he does the blitz, and as soon as he does the blitz, I'm like, oh great, I haven't lost, I've drawn. But, I mean, if I'd won this game, obviously it's fantastic because you can't lose in the second game, can you? Even if you lose, you go to the third game. So would have been really good to have won. It's so hard. Like this is a tough matchup. This is a real tough matchup. So there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and stay fantastic.